Smithers?
One of the carbon blobs from Sector 7G.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, I'll kick off.
Please.
I have some insights. After we watched the first episode, being the Christmas special, I should say the first episode to air, I found on Amazon Prime there's a docuseries about 6 episodes
which
long.
I have not yet watched, but it's in my queue.
Yeah, it's definitely worthwhile. The one thing I will say about this particular show is I have yet to see Matt Groening. There's a whole thing about how do you pronounce his name in there. So it's his perspective is kind of not part of it, and I would really like to know, because you're hearing from writers and producers.
James Hellbrook's in there?
He's not in it, but they talk about him. And what's really interesting, especially in the first couple of seasons, is they're saying that it was mostly James L. Brooks and more prominently Sam Simon, who are responsible for
Sam X Simon or
something like that.
forget,
It's in the opening credits, and as the main individual responsible for what the Simpsons were then. He was only around for the first 4 seasons. Anyway, the Christmas episode was the first to air because of a problem. So when all the animation for Simpsons was done in South Korea.
Yeah, that tracks. A lot of animation happens there. Yeah.
Yes.
To this day.
So they did all the stuff to make the characters how they're supposed to look and everything, shipped it over there. What they got back was actually not airable. It looked terrible. They were unhappy with the product. The Fox executives were kind of like, do we even want to keep this thing going? Because at this point, Fox had just started. The only show they had of any note at that point was Married with Children, which was popular but not a big hit. It was very niche.
Yes.
So Simpsons was supposed to be this thing to really grow the Fox brand and make it less of a joke and more serious. So the first episode, which I believe I can look in here, was like, what was it called?
So first in production, not first to air.
Yeah, and I guess maybe it didn't even air in the first season. It was I forget, it was like Some Wonderful Evening or something like that. It was going to air in the spring of 1989, but because of the problems, they're like, okay, we're going to
show
kick
all the
it
way to December.
No, they're going to kick it to next year, but they got the changes were made, and they had the Christmas episode in the
time.
Can to air at Christmas time. But this episode that we are talking about today, the second episode, Bart the Genius, was the first episode shown to the executives to say, hey, look, this is it. Yeah. And for them, it was like, okay, this is a home run. Yeah. So a little bit of trivia there, why they started with a Christmas episode, which was actually supposed to be the
like the mid-season break or something.
Or maybe even
finale. Yeah, I mean from spring to...
Because it was only a 13-episode season.
Oh, yeah. They would have closed with that one then, probably.
Yeah. So they pushed that guy forward.
Very interesting.
It was. And this is also, it'll come up in later episodes, but if you have a keen eye, you notice in the first couple episodes that you see Mr. Smithers, he is of the African-American persuasion.
Yes.
This was because all of the sheets they would send to Korea were faxed in black and white. To because they would just draw, this is what the scene's supposed to look like, these are the characters, now animate away.
Right.
When they looked at Smithers, they just assumed he was African American and drew him that way until it was later corrected. I always wondered about that, and then I got the answer all of these years later.
Interesting.
So I was like, okay. I wondered why that happened.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
So, Bart the Genius.
Bart the Genius. So I had a couple notes, not copious, because again, I watched this past Old Man Bedtime. Mm-hmm. Opening credits.
Yeah, they were a longer version.
You had the bus stop, and you had Lisa on her bike.
Yes, so the bus stop is Bart skating around through all the people.
Which does not last.
It doesn't.
Long into the show. I don't know how many episodes. I don't know if this is the only one, because we're in the rewatch, but...
as one who regularly rewatches The Simpsons, it's the first... definitely the first season, maybe into the second. I think they eventually shorten it down as they kind of get into their groove and need more time.
Yeah, need more time, and long credits help runtime when animation's expensive, y'all.
It is. It is
like ruinously expensive.
And even later, you cut almost all the credits. You get Bart and the chalkboard, and then right to Homer pulling up in the couch, and then the couch gag.
Little couch gag. Yeah. So the first thing that I noticed in the actual episode was, and this is a gag they've done more than once, but this was I guess maybe a little more subtle. Maggie had stacked the blocks for E equals MC squared.
Yeah.
I remember they had Star that got knocked down to rats in I don't remember which episode that was. But
Yeah, it's early.
Yeah.
It's the first couple of seasons.
So, so the E equals MC squared. I was like, oh, yeah. I would not have gotten that as a kid.
No,
But
not at all.
Grown-up me gets that. It's sciencey.
Yeah. So the conceit of this episode, Bart the Genius, is that they're taking IQ tests or aptitude tests in school, and Bart, known troublemaker, and
Has to turn his desk sideways
because he's foiled by Martin Prince,
who we meet, I guess, for the first time.
Yes, this would be at least the first
who will be a recurring character in Springfield Elementary.
Yes.
He is the goody two shoes genius, lover of the arts,
yes,
lover of the rules. He is corporate tool.
Yeah, so
Martin Prince.
So he's the one who says, "Shouldn't Bart be facing the
so he's
window?"
right, so he won't be tempted to
to cheat.
Yeah.
So he does that. Martin finishes his test first. Bart is actually up front, right next to the teacher's desk, and is able to swap
the test,
put his name on. And
so this was all after he got busted for graffitiing the school, writing Skinner is a wiener.
And Martin had this great thing about the spelling of wieners, like traditionally.
Although this is a regional. Yeah,
we'll have to show that clip because it's really funny.
Whoever did this is in very deep trouble.
And a sloppy speller, too. The preferred spelling of wiener is W-I-E-N-E-R. Although EI is an acceptable ethnic variant.
And then before that, the Simpsons were playing a family game of Scrabble. Right. And Homer had the whole word oxidize in front of him. It's like, oh, there was something to do with these letters. I know, do, or whatever it was. It was a 2-letter word.
Yeah, stupid.
And then to show Bart's, to drive home before the test that Bart's not smart, is he spells Quidjabo.
Yes. Use it in a sentence. A big, dumb North American
bald ape with a temper.
So we're doing a good job of establishing who the Simpsons characters are. They obviously develop and grow a lot more from this point, but it's giving us our first real solid introduction to
their characters.
I
think, because I was mistaken when we were talking about episode 1, that was I'm Bart Simpson, who the hell are you? I think this is the first instance of Eat My Shorts.
Eat My Shorts. So, yes, very, very. It's on T-shirts. It's on
Eat My Shorts.
Everything. I think I have a button back there that
I
might even say Eat My
almost bought a
Shorts.
treasure trove at the flea market today of Bart Simpson stuff that included Eat My Shorts, but I had already spent some money. I decided not to continue spending more money.
Yeah, I was on the fence about going to the flea market and decided not to because I went to our local retro shop yesterday, got some stuff, including over my... Oh gosh, that's going to come through.
Yeah, we'll hear that one.
Let me see. There, I'm looking at the camera. Right over this shoulder is Lionel Hutz, because behind you is Troy McClure.
I'll take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than
knock the microphone and spoil things
I'm
for
Troy
the audience.
McClure. You might remember me from not knocking into my microphone, and I didn't knock over the camera earlier either.
Yes, no Phil Hartman in this season, but
there's no Phil Hartman in this world either.
So Homer and Marge are coming to the school, assuming Bart's in trouble, as he often is.
As he often is. He has his own cabinet, a drawer in the filing cabinet.
Yeah, his file's this tall.
Yeah, he's got a massive file. Oh gosh, someone called him a name like a psychopath or a something, and Homer's like, he sure is. he knows what he's raising.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a little terror.
But long and short of it, they say he's a genius. He's acting out because he's bored in school, and he's answering all these questions like, "Are you often like distracted?" "Oh, yes, sir. And all these things that could explain why he's such a terror in the school.
Right.
And they're gonna ship him over to a school for geniuses.
But there was one moment that I personally very closely identified with when Skinner was listing Bart's many, many sins at the school, and then it was bringing in childish forgeries that were supposed to be notes from home, and then he saw Homer's signature on the check, and I was like, my handwriting looks like childish forgeries. That penmanship was not really pushed.
No, if when we get to the top Tim list, I was writing things down fairly legibly, and towards the end, it just not so much.
Right.
I was like, I am 45, almost 46 years old.
That's disgusting.
But in my defense,
thank you.
In my defense, I often type.
Yes,
this is
almost everything that I do that is note related.
Yeah, Yes,
Yeah.
I'm on a keyboard
Yeah.
or I'm on a phone,
Yep.
and I've never had good penmanship.
No.
I can actually, if I take my time, I can actually do it pretty well.
If I take
But-
my time, I can be a convincing middle schooler.
Oh man,
It's bad. My penmanship is awful.
yeah. I mean,
Awful. I
here's
think
the,
both my kids have better penmanship than me.
this is actually here's a good example of my penmanship. I mean, this is okay. This is me just writing it down, not trying to scratch
Well,
it up.
if you'll harken back to season 1 of our podcast,
yes.
how my note on the Petra episode looked like the ransom letter. So
That's right.
That wasn't like the exception to the rule.
We got to show a clip of
Yeah,
that because
we'll find it, yeah.
when I saw that, I'm like, am I in danger?
Yes, constant danger.
You look like you're about to go on a revenge tour.
I'm pretty sure in here is my list of demands to let Petra go. Like, just do what I say, and I'll let them go.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
Bart is shipped off.
Shipped up to the school where he is surrounded by the genius children,
Right, who are
lots
speaking
of-
in palindromes.
Yes.
And
Now, this is one of those things that I think could be a very shared human experience, and I'll give an example from my own life. I've been in IT for a career for the majority of my life. I started off as kind of like a help desk or the guy who comes to your computer and fixes it. And after several years of that, I was, for where I worked, I was one of the best. Not to toot my own horn, I was just
Sure.
I've been doing it for a while. I knew
Right.
the systems. I knew what needed to happen and not happen, and made the transition from that to being on the back side, the back end, the server side.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're at the top, or we'll just say like the top 10,
So when you're
15%.
big fish in little pond.
Yeah,
And then move into being little fish in big pond.
It's like
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Yeah, this is eye-opening.
And it's often called imposter syndrome.
Yes.
I don't feel like I belong here. I did nothing to earn this.
Right.
I'm out of my depth, so forth and so on. And you know, if you've got the fortitude, you can grow into it. You can, if you don't, you can fake it till you make it.
Yeah, there are ways.
Yeah, but it was just very relatable seeing Bart there. It's like, yeah, I've had this happen more than once in my life. Where,
Absolutely, yeah. I think the workplace story is a good example for that. I've had that myself. I have been, the team lead, the technical expert, and then switched to a different field altogether that this is adjacent to what I'm an expert in, but I'm not an expert in this at all, and everyone around here knows more than me, and I'm on this team.
to reference The Simpsons, you go from feeling like Dr. Hibbert to Dr. Nick.
Yes. This red thing
surgery.
connected to my wristwatch.
Just $39.95. I just
can't wait to get. There's so many Simpsons things I can't wait to get.
I know. Once we get to like 3 through 6, that's
the sweet spot for
that's
sure.
my favorite.
One of the things I really enjoyed, because again, it's just another insight into Homer, who I always love Homer.
Yes.
Showing his son how to put on a tie.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you had a similar experience. Dad taught me how to tie a tie.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to tie a proper Windsor knot and a double Windsor, which there's stuff on the internet that a double Windsor isn't real. I don't know.
I can't do the double Windsor. I've
So,
never been successful.
It basically just makes tighter triangles, but
Sure. Whatever. you
yeah. So like I had that moment as a son with my father. When my son's older, I will have that moment with my son. But when Homer did it, it's like, here, these prongs go here and this clip goes here. I'm just like, oh, my dude.
say. To reference Tommy Boy, it's like clip
It's like,
on.
are you sure?
Oh gosh, yeah. To this day, because I rarely have to wear a tie.
Yeah.
I don't need it for work. I can dress as I am dressed now,
Right.
which is very casually, because I'm not in front of customers. I'm with my nerds in the nerdery with their calculators.
Yeah.
So there's this great trick for tying a tie where you like hold it with your hand and you basically put one side this way, loop around through, boom, it's tied. Put it over your neck.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have the directions on my phone because I think once every 2 or 3 years I have to wear a tie.
So I for around a year worked at a law firm. It's a really bizarre set of circumstances.
was it Science and Kirk?
I was not Science Kirk or Miles.
Oh.
It was a law firm that shall remain nameless for legal reasons.
NDA.
I know too much, and if I say true things,
Did you go too far?
I did go too far. Little tortilla boy. So I
tortilla
found on I think the Craigslist. I found a job posting. So this is
Oh, yeah, back in the day.
guy looking for someone to do the Macintosh specific IT at his law firm. I applied, I got it. Turned out I was a better paralegal than his paralegal.
Wow.
So I just kind of...
From all your years of legal training.
It's just attention to detail. It's not.
This is
Okay.
This comes naturally to you and I. We are abnormal in that regard.
We focus on detail way too. It's probably a form of autism.
Yes, by probably you mean definitely.
Certainly a form of autism. Where on the spectrum, I don't exactly know. We're delightful to be around, I promise.
I occasionally make eye contact, so we're good.
Occasionally. I actually just specifically at work said if I go to make eye contact. Anyway, so yeah, I wound up becoming everything except the accountant. I did not do the accounts, but I did everything in that office, and every day, because it was public facing, in a law firm, suit and tie, suit and tie, suit and tie. And it was a law firm that specialized in divorces. While I was looking at my wedding date in the very near future, it was not. Every sad drunken man who came in was like, "You should get out before it's too late." I'm like, "Or I should just not make your choices."
And you're still married to
15 years. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Not that hard.
I think. Oh gosh, I think I'm knocking on 20.
You got it.
I think I am.
I think you're maybe 19.
My wife is watching
this
now and yelling exactly.
Do you at least know your anniversary?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I won't say it for NDA reasons. It's
Mr. Black.
No, there's
the
Simpsons
Cleveland
reference.
Browns.
Yeah, my anniversary is actually soon approaching, a couple months out.
Yeah, mine's a couple weeks out.
That might be my 20th. Maybe it's
Maybe
it already was my 20th.
It is my 15th. In a couple weeks.
I mean, you get this old, man. It all starts to blend together.
Yeah,
but
true.
this is a male trope, not unlike Homer being the oafish husband who knows nothing, and Marge being the supermom that knows everything.
Yeah.
Did they start this trend, or was it?
No. I mean, it's like honeymooners and stuff. Like, there's stuff.
Yeah, I guess it goes way back.
Like sitcoms have always kind of leaned into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
But I mean, Simpsons definitely popularized it to a new level and exposed a whole generation to that kind of trope.
Right. So now it's expected for us to be stupid. We don't know anything.
Oh, look at the husband. He's going to do something stupid. One of the lines that I loved, I think this was either when they were going to the film festival or the opera. So Marge, with a genius son, decides, I've got to expose you to culture, the arts, etc. So she says the whole family has to go, and Homer's response was, I'm not a genius. Why do I have to suffer?
Yeah, and then the next thing they were going to do is go see some foreign film.
Yeah.
But Homer got Bart out of it. There was just a great little family moment there where he takes Bart out for a catch.
They have such great father-son moments in this episode. It's one of the best for their father-son relationship. Mostly. So Bart, back at the school, not knowing what he's doing, ends up mixing an acid with a base. Which is the most vivid memory I have of season 1 of The Simpsons, is that scene.
Yes.
You know what happens when you mix acids and bases, right? Yeah, of course I do, ma'am.
Poof. So he gets brought in to the guidance counselor, the one who referred to him as a genius, and behind him you see Albert Einstein's photo on one side and Bart Simpson's on the other. And then he's
Albert Einstein, inventor of the light bulb, according was it Homer? I think it was Homer who said that he invented the light bulb. Yeah,
but it later says instead of saying I don't have to be an Albert Einstein,
I know Bart Simpson.
I don't have to be a Bart Simpson to know that blah blah blah. But eventually Bart ultimately confesses that he faked the whole thing. So he's home. He's all covered in green from his chemistry explosion, and so they're outside again. Homer's washing him up, and he's like, "Well, Dad, I have something to tell you. I was lying, but these last few weeks have been great.
We've been so close. Yeah. We've had all these moments.
In a traditional sitcom, this is when the soft music plays in. It's like Full House. They solve every problem in 20 minutes.
Right.
And it hits you in the feels, and you just feel great. And that's not what happened here.
No. Homer chases green naked Bart through the house. Marge's like, what's happening? He's like, I think Bart's dumb again, or stupid again, whatever it is. Like,
Yep, and we got a few shots of Bart's butt cheeks as Homer's trying to
which is a very normal. We'll see a lot more Simpson butt cheeks over the years.
But what's important there is that this was the controversy with The Simpsons. We talked about it last time, where this was an animated show aimed at really teens and adults.
Yeah.
But it's a cartoon. Parents are going to put their kids in front of it. This is pre-internet. You don't have access to all the information, so all of this stuff kind of made it into newspapers and magazines about, it being vulgar and moms being upset that the show aired, and this, which only made it more popular because it was
right. Yeah, there's memes or meme level stuff about protest a thing and you'll make it popular.
Exactly, and this is Gen X, so
right. Don't tell me what to do. We ungovernable.
Don't care. Yep. So it was. Probably why it's still running today is because of how it just captured that cultural feeling, whatever you want to call it, that vibe.
Yeah.
And but that was basically the episode summarized somewhat poorly by us.
Yeah, with some segues and some non sequiturs peppered in there.
Yeah, but again, season 1 not my favorite season, but
it does have some moments.
It's important. It's laying the foundation. Yep. Getting us introduced to characters. Always recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to skip it. It's not like crappy. It's just it's in its infancy.
Yeah, I will. As I said, I regularly rewatch. I don't always rewatch season 1.
Yeah, I will fully admit that when I do a rewatch, I typically start at season 3.
Yeah, I go for 2 because there's some real gems in there, and obviously we'll get to them as this segment continues.
Indeed. Well, speaking of this segment continuing, guess what it's not doing anymore?
It's ceasing.
It's ceasing.
The editor is gonna
do that
thing, little eye thing, and make the cut
thing,
and then he's gonna scoot everything down.
Yep.
And he's gonna take the clip that we're about to show you and throw it right in there, like this.
It's magic to you guys.